G'day YouTube, how are you? Was here. Alright, today we are doing a little update on the 2009 FZ1. Had it since about February. Got it 52,000 Ks roughly, and I'm now just over 70. I've done 2 track days, gone through 2 sets of tyres, about to do a 3rd track day next month. The bike, very underrated bike, the FZ1 Yamaha, easy to find parts for. I think also something that people would probably need to realise, that if you're looking for a bike that can do everything, these FZ1, I would place them roughly in between an MT10 and an MT09. So an MT10 and MT09, this is a 1000cc engine, so the MT10 you would roughly be on maybe the first power mode to the second power mode, and it'll be somewhere in between that power. They're rated at 160 horsepower. This is 150 horsepower, so a little bit less torque and a little bit heavier. And on the track I noticed there were no MT10s last time I went out, but there was an MT09, and that guy pushed that along rather well. Overtook me, but in the straights this thing seemed to just be a little bit more powerful. So, and I think I've ridden the MT09, MT10 as well, and I would place this particular bike somewhere in there. Not as wheelie prone. This is the R1 platform, just naked. The good thing about these bikes, and the thing that people don't realise, is you can get one of these bikes here when they first come out, and all you could do is a power commander to smooth out fueling. But now with technology, you can do a Woolwich race tune in these and really set your fueling up sweet, and change this thing that they had where 5,000 RPM there'd be nothing, and then all of a sudden the power would come on. You can change that, and I have, and straight off the clutch the power comes on. Not the same as an MT10, but we're not talking about the same money, are we? We're talking about older technology. This has got great bike. This is a great bike, great brakes, great suspension. On the track at Morgan Park, I've done my best PB of 1 minute 31 and 1 minute 32s I did, and then I've tried to focus on lines for a lot of my day, and then at the end I ripped it up hard as well. On the track, you really got to, if you're going to compete, you really got to get it up to the red line, which I did. And down the straight there, it's doing 204, 205, and hits the rev limiter with standard gearing, standard everything else, right on the finish line. So you're just hitting that in 3rd gear, and then all of a sudden you're backing off, and then you're starting to brake at Morgan Park for the corner. So a very reassuring road bike, you can take it to that track. So let's swap. Yeah, so a very reassuring road bike you can take to the track. This particular bike had some extras on it, and I got it for a really good deal. It's had its first degrease. I've been taking this bike dirt, road, track, you name it, it does it, and it does it well. The rear tyre, I can comment on the Michelin Power 5, a very good tyre. On the track, you want to get this tyre set up at Morgan Park on about 28. I was on 30, and I got a bit of rear slippage in the back coming onto the straight, which I thought was weird. So I let down those tyres another 3 pound to 28, and you little ripper, she flies. I have mismatched tyres. I've got a Dunlop that I just got at the track, and that is a nice tyre. That's a GT Racer. I don't know whether you can see that. That's a GT Racer. It went quite well, and that was at 32. I might have to drop that down a bit too. I'll talk to them about that. So anyway, I'll show you footage of this bike at the track. And I'll compare it to the MT10, which is what I had, and we'll go neck and neck and do a lap with that. The MT10 I did a minute 33. I was still learning to ride that bike faster, and this just happened to take over. And the reason why I actually like this is the MT10, I mean, don't get me wrong, what a beautiful bike, does everything well. You'd be so happy to have an MT10, and I'd be happy to have another one in my garage. This thing here, just the longer wheelbase, just gives you a bit more stability, and if you're learning to ride faster, that stability is a bit more reassuring. Of course, the other thing to look out for on these older bikes is no ABS, no power modes, no traction controls. You're on your own, so good tyres, if you're taking these to the track, are essential, and the right air pressure. And the other thing that I've done, everything's pretty well standard. What come on this bike, the only thing I've added is the rear rail, and I've done the Woolwich race tune and the triple X-rated suspension. Like I said, it's 70,000. These things are good for 150 easy, I feel. There we go. We need to change select the setting. Let's just see what we got here. There you go, we've clocked over 70,000. There we go. The fuel range, not the best, but you can get about 220 kilometres out of it. That's what I've worked out, probably 230. Normally at around 200 it hits reserve, and I guess you've got 20-30k in reserve on this particular bike. So like an MT10 in a lot of ways. Fuel range is about the same roughly. There it is. Riding this track again, September. Riding this bike again to the track, September the 9th I think it is. It's a Tuesday. And back to Morgan Park, and I just ride this bike there. I've got my fuel can or everything on the bike. I ride it from the Sunshine Coast to Warwick, stay the night, go and race. I happen to stay the night again there too, because after the race you might be a bit tired, and there's a lot of animals on the road, and I tend to go the back way at dusk and dawn. So I just tend to just stay the night and have a few beers at the pub, enjoy myself and sleep in and cruise home. To do track days and you want a bike that's capable on the road, track, dirt, the whole lot. Great bike, great undervalued bike, and really is a naked R1. And that tuning that they've done, the ECU modifications that they did to these bikes, are easy to fix simply by adding a Woolwich race tuner and custom dyno. Very easy to fix and makes a big difference. FZ1, cheers.